Hello everybody, welcome back. So this is what we're learning today. This is 2-point perspective. So we've been doing 1-point perspective a lot, and 1-point perspective just means you have one vanishing point or one dot in the middle of your paper. So if you can guess, and if you have not already noticed, we have one vanishing point, two vanishing points. So 2-point perspective, you have two vanishing points in it, and generally 2-point perspective makes it look like you are standing at the corner of a building or a city block. Okay, so we have the corner of the building right here. We're at the corner of the sidewalk, and you can see both sides because everything connects to these two vanishing points. Even if you look at the top, they connect, the street lines connect, everything. So, as always, what you need your paper, sketchbook, pencil, with an eraser. Please do not ever do perspective drawings and pen. You're living your life on the edge if you do. And then most importantly, you need your handy dandy wood block. I'm kidding. You need a ruler or something that is straight. As you know, we learned last video, I do not have a ruler for some reason in my house, and I'm an art teacher, don't know why. But I found a piece of wood that has a straight edge. So you just need something that has a straight side to it. And then yeah. So be patient, this video is kind of long, but I show you exactly how to do every single little thing, and then you'll learn a new skill. So I think it's very fun, and I hope you have a good time. All right, hello, let's get started. All right, so like I said earlier, you need your, sketchbook, paper, pencil with an eraser. That's very important. Please do not do this in pen ever. And then your handy dandy wood block. But no, make sure you have a ruler or something with a straight side to it. This was all I could find, just like last time. All right, so just like when you're doing 1-point perspective, you need to first draw your horizon line, so the line going straight across your paper. And now we're gonna change it up a little bit. So this is called 2-point perspective. So like when we do 1-point perspective, you draw one dot, which is the vanishing point. Now we have two vanishing points. So generally, instead of putting one dot in the middle, you're gonna do two. You usually put them kind of at equal distance. You don't have to technically, but for this, we're gonna put them about equal distance on the right and on the left, okay? So let's say about right here, I think that's where I had my finger. So one vanishing point, and then generally over here, let's have our second vanishing point, okay? So 1, 2, 2-point perspective. And the first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna draw our building. I mean, you already saw it. We're gonna draw our building in the middle. And remember, it's gonna be like we're standing at a corner, which is one of my favorite things about this perspective. It's really cool. So, like I said, we're gonna draw our building right here in the middle. So get your ruler or your wood block, and I'm gonna kinda eyeball it. And just like when we do the normal 1-point perspective, when you draw your vertical line, you want it to go through the horizon line. So you want your line, I'll just show you. Your line's gonna start up here, and then you want it to go past your horizon line. You don't want to stop at the horizon line, you wanna go down below it. Okay, so this is our first line. This is the corner of our building. Now what we're gonna do, whoa, what's happening? We're actually gonna make 4 lines next, because we're gonna make the rest of our building. So I'm gonna start at the bottom of this line, and I'm gonna, hopefully my head doesn't get in the way, I'm going to connect it to our vanishing point over here on the right side. And remember, don't draw too hard yet, keep it really light, because we're gonna have to erase a lot of things. Okay, so that's our first line. Then we're gonna do the left side of our building, so line it up. Oh, and then very lightly connect it. And now we're gonna do the top. So we're gonna do the same thing, line it up from this top of the line to the vanishing point on the right side. Okay, there it is. All right, and remember, please draw lightly. And I will, if you heard my cat, that was my cat. I'll explain how to draw lightly right now. So I explained this in my last video. Oh, excuse me. In my last video, a lot of students and just a lot of people in general, it's really, really common for people to draw very hard. That's because a lot of people hold their pencil way down here near the very tip where the lead is. And when you hold your pencil down here, you're just gonna push, well, really hard. And that's gonna make your lines really, really dark, and it's gonna make them hard to erase. Like, you can erase the line, but you'll basically see the dent in the paper. I know you know what I'm talking about. I know you know. So when you're drawing, it's always important to draw lightly before you know exactly what you're drawing or how you want it to look, in case you make any mistakes. And making mistakes is, you know, a thing that happens all the time. So instead of holding your pencil down here, please make sure you move it at least like a third of the way back, if not halfway back on your pencil, and hold it here. I know it'll feel weird at first, but this will guarantee that you do not push down on your pencil very hard, because it's hard to do that when you hold it way back here. All right, so moving back, I'm getting a lot of pencil marks on my paper. It's making me mad. Okay, so this is what we just did, and it might be kind of hard to see now, but this is our building. So we got our 2 vanishing points. So what you're gonna do next is you're going to determine how long or short you want your building. So I'm gonna do about right here. I'm gonna do kind of a short building. So let me get my pretend ruler. And please remember, guys, that these lines need to be straight up and down. They have to be vertical, because if you make it kind of crooked, that building is gonna look crooked. And who goes into a crooked building? Nobody should go in a crooked building. Those are not safe. So please make sure that your lines, when you're doing the beginning of your building and the sides, please make sure they're as straight up and down as you can get them, straight vertical. And then I'm gonna do my other one right here. This is a very skinny building, apparently. Okay, so those are the basics of our very first building. So what we do next you get your eraser. We're gonna be erasing a lot of things, so just be prepared. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and darken these lines real quick. Again, that was my cat, if you heard my cat. I'm very talkative. All right, so we're gonna erase some lines, and please pay very close attention so you don't erase the wrong lines on accident. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna erase, oh my goodness gracious, my cat. I'm gonna erase this line, so I'm gonna go from here to here. He's singing a song, apparently. Oh, my son's so sad. And then I'm gonna erase here to here. I hope y'all can hear that, or you're gonna think I'm crazy, probably. He's being very loud. All right, and then I'm gonna go from here to here. And then we're almost done from here to here. And this is when you're gonna see how hard you drew, because if you drew really hard, you're still gonna be able to see these lines. All right, so we're almost done. We have to erase the horizon line that is going through our building. So we're gonna erase these 2 right here, but we're gonna leave the long ones, okay? So erase that one and erase this one. And boom, guys. I mean, we're gonna add more details later, but this is our first building. And it looks just like a building that's on the corner of like a block. Whoa. You're standing at the corner and you look, that's the building. So I'm going to finish drawing. I'll walk you through it still, but we're gonna draw, I always go on the right side first. I'm gonna draw the rest of our buildings on the right side, going to the vanishing point, and then we'll do the ones on the left side, and then I'll show you how to do windows and sidewalks and stuff, okay? All right, so, let's see. I'm actually gonna, I should have kept this line. It's okay. I'm gonna redraw this one. And I think I'm gonna make this building longer and a little shorter. Okay, so it's not gonna be as tall as this one. The only thing that sucks about the wood block is I can't see through it, so I don't know exactly how long I'm making it. So let's say about right here. Okay, and then, I'm gonna line, maybe I want it a little shorter. I'm all over the place right now. I'm gonna line this up with this, and then what we're gonna do actually is not only are you gonna draw it here, but you're gonna connect it all the way to this building. So you'll see what I mean in a second. And it won't match up with this because this building is taller, so it should come down shorter. So vanishing point, remember, draw lightly. Now we're at our building, and that's the very top of our building. Got it? So I'm actually gonna keep this line here, but I will erase this one. And then we're gonna erase the horizon line that's in our building right there. And next, I would like to draw a very tall building. So I'm gonna come on this line, and I'm just gonna extend it going up. So let me get my ruler to line that up. So this is gonna be a very, very tall building. Okay, and I'm gonna line up my ruler from the top here to the vanishing point, which it'll be a very dramatic angled line because we're making a tall building. All right, now here's the, we're gonna do a few more lines, and hopefully it doesn't sound confusing, but we actually, I guess I can figure out real quick where I want this building to end. So let's say I'll just have it end over here, kind of close. But we're missing the side of our building. The side of the building needs to be right here. We have the front, but we need the side. And in the 1 point perspective, usually we would just draw a straight line going across and down. However, for this one, for 2 point, you're going to actually line this line, the very top of your building, up with the vanishing point way on the left. So line your ruler up and draw very lightly. Don't go through your building. You kind of skip over it and then come back. And now we can figure out, you can either end it right here, or you can decide if you want your building to be short. I'm gonna end it right here. So now we have a few lines to erase, which is okay. So just make sure you pay attention. So we're finally gonna erase this one right here, and then that one right there. I have a giant eraser. This probably won't work very well. We're gonna erase the horizon line only in the building. I'm gonna erase this little tiny piece right there. And then this part right here connecting to the vanishing point on the left. And there we go. Those are our first buildings on the right side. So very, very cool. Hopefully everybody's good with that. So while I'm erasing my paper, we're gonna go ahead and get ready to do the left side. So we're gonna start on this side and connect it to this vanishing point on the left. I want my buildings to look a little different from the ones on the right, just to make it more unique. So I think right off the bat, I'm gonna make my second building on the left side, I'm gonna make it tall. I'm gonna make it taller than this first one. So get my ruler. I'm gonna line it up. I'm gonna line it up with this line right here, this existing line. And then I'm just gonna extend it going way up there, like that. And then what we're gonna do, again, like I said over here, I should have just kept that bottom line. Don't know why I didn't. So we're gonna redraw that bottom line to the vanishing point, and we're just gonna keep that there until we're very done. So we got that line, the bottom of the building. Now we're gonna come all the way to the top and connect it to this vanishing point first, and then we'll do the other vanishing point. Trying to line it up as best as I can. Oh, I can go a little more. All right, so it'll look something like that. And remember, just like we did on this side, why does this building look so crooked? Just like we did for this building, we're gonna connect this to the vanishing point. So you don't really need to draw your line going all the way through. What you're gonna do, and hopefully this makes sense, you're gonna come to the top, keep your ruler here, come to the top and make sure it's lined up with the vanishing point, And you're going to stop drawing as soon as you get to your buildings on the right side. So I'm gonna stop right there, pick my pencil up, and then there we go. So instead of having to draw a line all the way through these buildings, we don't have to do that. So just draw your line and then stop when you get to these buildings on the right side. All right, so we got the front side and the back, or the side, other side, words. Now we need to figure out how tall we want it. So I'm gonna have mine come right here. My cats are deciding to play right now. I don't know why. I have all the time. They want to choose now. All right, and then I'm gonna make it kind of skinny so we can have room for other ones. So remember, line it up. Make sure your line's as straight up and down as you can get it. We don't want any towering, crooked buildings. It's not a very safe town. And then we're gonna erase. So I'm gonna erase this line right here, going from this building to that building. I'm gonna keep this one, but I'm gonna erase this one. And then I'm going to erase the horizon line and this building. Okay, so we got that. I'm gonna have my next building start about right here. See that dot, hopefully? Right there. So I'm gonna match my ruler up from here to the vanishing point. If I can see it. That looks pretty good. And then do. Okay. And I'm gonna draw one more building after this, so. Now we erase the horizon line in the middle and the top. So one more. I'm gonna make it a little bit taller, but not too tall. So I'm gonna come to this line right here, match up my ruler, and I'm just gonna go up just a little bit. Nothing crazy. And then we match the top of that to the vanishing point on the left side. And then once we have that, we do, because you see this empty space right here, we have to match this top to this one. And remember, we don't need to go through all of these buildings. You're just gonna draw your line until you meet that first building, which is right there. Okay? And I'm gonna have this one be pretty long. And then erase your lines. Ta-da! That's it, guys. That's the bones, the skeleton of our city. So now what we're gonna do is we're going to add our windows and doors. My cats are being a mess right now. And then I'm gonna show you how to do a sidewalk and maybe streets and all that good stuff, okay? So, yeah, get ready for that. Okie dokie. So, for our windows and doors, like I've said before, even when we did 1 point perspective, every single thing you draw needs to connect to your vanishing point. So since we have 2 vanishing points now, everything will either have to connect to this one or that one, depending on what side you're drawing on. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna show you this first building. We're gonna do this side, and then that side I'm gonna draw some windows and like a door and stuff. And then I'm gonna draw the other ones, but I'll do it at a fast speed so that you can watch it, but it's not boring to sit through. Okay, so I'm gonna do my door. I'm gonna make it a pretty big door, like a long door, as if this was like some kind of office building and it had multiple doors, okay? So I'm gonna draw my first straight line. Remember, it can't be too big because these are giant buildings. So imagine people, teeny tiny people walking down the sidewalk. We can't have a huge door. All right, so what you're gonna do, draw your vertical line, so straight up and down. You're gonna line this up with that vanishing point. Where is it? There it is. Okay. And don't draw a line going all the way. Just draw it however long you want your door to be. That looks pretty good. And then straight line going down. And I'm just gonna draw one door here and then one here. And remember, your straight lines, your vertical lines always have to be vertical. always have to go straight up and down, which can be kind of tricky for a while when you're first learning this. But it'll look best and most realistic when you have everything going up and down. So we got our few doors. I'm just gonna throw some little things in it, whatever they're called. All right, so let's do a few windows. I'm gonna do long row windows, so straight line. That's my cat, he said hello. And that's kind of cutting it close, but oh well. All right, so this will get a little tedious. You have to match this up with the vanishing point, this up with the vanishing point, that with the vanishing point, that with the vanishing point. Every top and bottom has to go to the vanishing point because perspective. So let's do it. And I'm not gonna speed this up so you can see in real time how long this takes me. So I got the bottom, I'm gonna move it up, make sure it's still with my vanishing point. Hopefully my head's not in the way. All right, so we got that window, dot, oh, window. Wow, this is taking me longer than I expected. And the cool thing about this building, since it goes above and below the horizon line, I mean, I guess all of them do technically. I think my head just got in the way. I'm sorry. Whoops, that wasn't lined up. I need to pay closer attention. See how I just messed up right there? And the reason I know is because this line, the top line needs to be more angled. And that's how I realized. So mess ups are okay. They happen all the time. So I'm just gonna redo that one. Hopefully, there we go. See, that's how it should look. And then that one. And the higher you go, the more, which is what I was about to say before I realized I messed up. The higher you go, the more angled your lines are going to be. So if you drew this whole 2-point perspective city, but you drew your windows going straight across, it would not match your perspective at all. And it would change it from potentially looking realistic to not looking realistic at all. Because again, perspective in general is what we see in real life all the time. Oh, this one's real close. I might have to fix some things. Can you even see it? You can barely see it. All right, there we go. So let me fix a few of my mistakes. Meh. All right. So I'm just gonna draw my vertical line. My vertical lines are gonna stay the same the entire time, no matter how angled my lines get for the horizontals. So I just wanted you to see that, like how long it actually took me to do that, because a lot of students are like, man, it's taking me too long, I don't want to keep doing it. But it takes a while. You're drawing a city, and then you can draw your little window sides. Mine are not perfect. I should probably be using a ruler. There we go. I'm gonna do this side. I am going to fast speed it because that took forever. So I'm gonna do the same thing that I did on this side. I'm gonna do it on that side, but I'm not gonna talk through it and I'll be doing it faster, okay? All right, so here's the building. We got the windows, doors, everything is angled. My windows are not going straight across except for probably these two. And that's because they're almost directly on that line. Okay, these are angled up and all of these are angled down. So that's the most important. That's a very easy way to tell if you lined everything up with both of your vanishing points, okay? So I am going to go ahead and do my other buildings. I'm just gonna freehand it and see what I come up with. It will be fast speed. So just, you can watch what I'm doing. You can do exactly what I do, or you can kind of get creative with it and do a little bit of your own. And then when I'm done with that, I'm gonna show you how to do a sidewalk and your street. All right? Okay, so this is my city. I tried to make each building look a little bit different. So yeah, well, let's move on. I'm sure this video is a million minutes long already, so let's move on to the sidewalk. All right, so for the sidewalk, we're gonna have to do both sides, and they're gonna meet right here, just like you were standing at the corner of a block, like in the city. So I'm just gonna redraw, don't know if you can see it. I'm just gonna redraw this bottom line connecting to the vanishing point. So I just had to draw that little extra piece right there for our sidewalk. And then this little extra piece right here. All right, so I'm gonna have the sidewalk come about right here, super far out. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna line up right here to this vanishing point, draw that, then line this one to that vanishing point. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. Boom. And boom. Whoop, there we go. There's the boom. All right. And if we want to do a street, which I recommend we do a street because we have all this extra space, it's going to be the same thing. So I'm just going to kind of draw a straight line, just going out to nowhere. And same thing over here. It might not match it exactly. Oh well. And there. So we're going to have two streets meet, and maybe we could draw like a stop sign over here and maybe one right here too. That'd be kind of cool. All right, so even when you're drawing your street lines, like the dotted street lines, you do still have to line it up with the vanishing point. We talked about that when we did our 1 point perspective. Everything, literally everything has to line up with your vanishing points, even when you have 2, even when you have 3, and so forth, okay? So I'm gonna, oh boy, all right, I'm gonna try to get it close to the middle as I can. So I'm just gonna put my pencil here and line my ruler up with that. All right, so we're gonna do, oh, you can't see it, but it is lined up. Well, maybe I should change that for you. Okay, hold on. So there we go. My pencil left a little mark so I can see it. So remember, for perspective, things that are closer to you seem larger or normal, and then the further back they go, they appear smaller, which is the case even with straight lines. So you make nice long straight lines towards the bottom of the paper, and automatically, as soon as you start going back further and further, they get smaller and closer together. And if you don't believe me, look at the street sometime when you're just like walking down the street. All right, so then we got our first street line. We're gonna do this one over here. So same thing, long lines, then they get closer and smaller together the further back you go. All right, so since these two look like they're going to intersect, we're gonna have a little intersection right here. I'm gonna draw a little stop sign. So that's the little pole, and then a little octagon. And I'm just gonna shade it in a little bit. All right, so that's my stop sign for this side, and then I'm gonna draw one on this side. Theoretically, this one would be bigger. Oh, you can't even see it. This one would be bigger because it's closer to us. So just draw a little bit bigger. And then, there you go. And I'm just gonna shade it in a little bit. Ta-da! This is very, very basic. Like I said earlier, beginner level of 2 point perspective. And this might take you a while. This took me a little while, but that's okay. You're learning, you're trying something new, and eventually you will love it, just like how much I love it. Okay. So keep practicing. I hope you had a good time at least. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time.